The FOMC is speaking again this week and the market is very bullish. Is this justified or will we see another plunge back into darkness? Let's find out together. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Tim, trader at the Calm Compound, and it's time for our technical analysis video. Let's get right to it. It's an interesting day. We see that Bitcoin has been rejected above its bull flag and now we're back in range. This is not that strange because tomorrow we hear about the decision of the FOMC and what they're going to do with the rate hikes. So very important, and generally speaking, investors and traders are a bit more skittish and a little bit more careful than usual. If we move over to FedWatch, then you see here that it's in 23 hours, so tomorrow in a little bit. And we see here that the market is expecting a rate hike of 0.25% and is all pretty much 99% sure of that. On the other hand, here we see that there is a 1% perceived chance of no rate hike at all, meaning that there would be a pause in rate hikes, which is a fairly bullish thing. If that does happen, there's a very small chance. If that does happen, you will probably see the market skyrocket as basically the economy will not be as restrictive anymore, or not becoming more restrictive, as opposed to if that does happen here. Well, because most of the market is expecting it, if we do see only a 0.25% increase, then that would mean that probably we will see enough momentum to just kind of move on a little bit, but you know, most of the market is expecting it, so it's not very special. I personally think that the most likely scenario in that case would be we break this trend line, we double tap here on the 25-200, with the first step being here in August, and then we start a retrace, possibly back to 22,000 or maybe even 20,000-ish. I think that would be the most likely scenario because this is a very strong resistance right here and there is a very low chance that we'll break it on just the second tap. Generally speaking, on a third tap, so maybe from 20 back up, that is where we have like a 50-50% of breaking through, and that will only get better the more times we hit it. So that would be the most likely scenario. If we do see a 0.5% move, then we will probably go back to Goblin down because the market did completely not expect it, and will probably move back towards 18,000 and maybe even the lows right here. So be aware of that. That's kind of what we're seeing now. And if we zoom in just a little bit here to the 4 hour, you see that there's just a range at the moment as people are waiting and seeing what is going on. Kind of the same thing for Ethereum actually, because we see that here on the daily we broke out of the spirit of bull flag, tapped it, and then went back, as investors and traders are still kind of skittish and waiting to see what Jerome Powell and friends will say. For the rest, we could see somewhat of a cup and handle form. We have a nice little bowl right here that we could see developing like this. Here we have the side, and then continue on like that towards the 1800 and possibly the 2000. So that is what we're seeing there for Ethereum. For the rest, it's not too exciting. It really is just ranging while we wait and see what Jerome Powell will say. And on the other hand, some altcoins are having a better time of it than others. As you can tell, DYDX up 23%, going absolutely bonkers because the token unlock has been rescheduled until December. So basically it's going to take quite a lot longer before the market is flooded with new DYDX, and that means that the selling pressure that was expected stays out. And then also we had a third tap here, so we had the start of the trend line, second tap, and then a continuation onwards. So third tap, 50% chance of breaking through like we see here. This is basically still the same tap on the grounder scale. That's what we're seeing there. ADA is doing pretty decently as well, just moving onwards a little bit in a channel like this, which could mean that we have to keep an eye out for a break downwards. But that will also depend on the FOMC and how the market reacts. XRD is doing beautifully. It broke through the resistance and now it has like a level here around that 6 cents approximately, or 5.9 cents, and then we are scat free to go towards 7.5 pretty much, which is the next major resistance. Would be quite nice. I personally do hold quite a bit of XRD, so I would not mind that at all. Most of it was bought between like 5 and 4 cents, so quite all right, quite all right. One of my my favorite projects to watch for the next 2 years, I'd say, and then we'll see. AVE is consolidating nicely, as AVE does. We have a bit of a W pattern. Would be great if we could make a new high here as well, break above this, but we will have to see. For now it is consolidating quite nicely. You'll see this happen in most of the market currently, as we're waiting for tomorrow to see what the future will hold. We see that Chili's is also kind of consolidating, didn't really manage to hold on to this trend line, but also didn't really break under it properly. So we're consolidating here as well. There are, well, Cho is continuing upwards, but also in somewhat of a channel. So here we see the same thing. This is actually a pretty nice wedge. You could probably trade, but it's a bit illiquid, so I wouldn't do that. Cake, same thing. Everything is either continuing upwards slowly, losing steam, or consolidating. So it's all telling us pretty much the same thing, being people are relaxed, or not necessarily relaxed, but are waiting and seeing for what tomorrow will bring. Matic is actually doing pretty stellar. We see here it broke above its resistance, and now we are just waiting for it to come back, test it, and then maybe we could enter and continue onwards to greater heights. So that's what we're seeing here, and that is really the long and the short of the interest things. We do see that perp is going quite alright, so there's a bit of a trend of perp dexes doing well. We can actually have a quick look at GMX as well. USDT, here we see that is also doing quite alright. Like you can see here, it's a decent day. Decent day for the perp dexes, definitely. Although this too is making a wedge, meaning that there is something of a chance of it moving back down, unless the market, or unless the Federal Reserve has an exceptionally bullish stance. Hopefully this was useful to you. Hopefully you have a bit of an idea of what to expect tomorrow and how to play it. Really just keep calm, keep cool, go with the trend, keep compounding, and I'm sure you will be fine. I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye!